People always look down on food vendors because they feel like you didn't go to school, and so you selling food is like a means to an end.
Really?
Especially women. It's always the girls anyway. From the men's angle, men feel like for women like me,
Uh-huh.
what's the word you would call it? Slay queen. They feel like you're using the food business as a front and you're just a typical ashawo.
Listen, girl. Let me cut you there because I don't go lie. If you tell me my guy, there are some people that I do see on Instagram.
That's
my
why I'm
sister.
saying that it's not everybody.
No, I'm still going to break that table.
It's not everybody, Charles. You want to put me inside trouble.
You know.
It's not everyone. I'm being very serious.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, it's safe to say that food and food business right now is like the next oil, to be honest. Because like everybody's saying, if you're involved in food or if you're involved in food content creation or even selling food, or you don't blow, right? And I said, it's best to have someone who operates in that, climb on the show so that we can actually understand if, certain things are true. I have so many questions, to be honest. If this statement I just made is true, if, there are challenges, what are really the, for want of a better word, what are the secrets of the food business in Nigeria and the food, content creation space. And I'm really excited for my guest because apart from the fact that, she's my girl, I feel like every guest on this show has to be my friend, first of all, because, these conversations that we're going to be having are conversations that we have, when the cameras are not rolling. So we're just gisting, basically. So my guest today is none other but a food content creator. Important to note as well is that this lady is an ex-beauty queen, very important, and she has dabbled into a little acting here and there. She's also a certified chef. Let me add, she went to school and they do give her a sambodo, and she carried like this and say, that is my name, I'm a certified chef. And also she is a food blogger and food vendor. I'm talking about the one and the only MD CEO, you done chop, Genevieve.
I feel like we should have Parara.
At this point,
Oh
I'm blow this thing for you. How are you doing? How far now?
I'm very well, thank you.
I know everybody's on. This flu is killing all of us, girl.
I mean, but
we move.
Still.
Welcome to the show, my darling.
Thank you.
You are, for want of a better word, to be honest, I feel like you're one of the best food vendors that I know. Lagos and abroad. Your food is amazing. If you've not had, you don't chop bole and fish. I don't know what you're having. You don't need to go to Port Harcourt to go and buy bole and fish.
Honestly,
my friend does, one of the best.
Port Harcourt to Lagos.
And I know that it's not easy running a business. What's off a food business in this country, Nigeria, and again in Lagos. I know that you go through a lot, but before we go into all of that, let's meet you. I know that you didn't just wake up one day and say, you know what, I want to be selling food. I want to be, blowing firewood and be selling. I know that wasn't. I don't know if that was the plan, but I don't think that you just thought that this is what I wanted to do. I'm sure along the line it came. So, at what point in Genevieve's life did she decide that this food business, I will go that route and leave office work for people like Charles?
So first of all, I graduated from Benson Idahosa University in 2015. I studied mass communication and linguistics.
So this is your work?
Yeah.
Wow.
I studied mass communication and linguistics, second class upper.
Right.
I mean, they had always told us in school that there's really not so much money like that in journalism. So if you're looking for like plenty money, you need to find like other ways. It will be slow money, but maybe not as much as you're expecting. They would tell you that much when you're about to go into the field, So I had my fair share of 9 to 5. I worked with Glow.
Yes, you did work with Glow.
I did.
Actually, thinking about it now.
I did, and it was stressful.
What were you doing for Glow?
As customer care representative, where you have to make about
you're picking call. What were you telling them, Genevieve?
Honestly, that job taught me to have the kind of patience that I have today. I'm not a very patient person, but when I started doing my own business, it just made me know that you really have to be patient because, fam, people would test you.
I know.
People would test you. With Glow, we were asked to make 250 calls in a day. and you can't hang up on a customer no matter how rude they are to you, no matter what they're telling you, even if you're hearing something else in the background, until you have passed the message that you're supposed to pass and then you end. Because if you are hanging up on it, because the moment
Mm-hmm.
you're hanging up, you're seeing the query on your screen immediately.
Wow.
And it's not like we were earning so much. So you don't want a situation where you now go and hang up and then they'll not slash out of your salary.
Mm.
So I mean over time it didn't seem like I wanted to be there for long because that place has a way of just holding you down.
Yeah.
I knew that yes, it was a good step up for me.
Yeah, of
Do
course.
you understand?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to be there for long.
Mm-hmm.
And it was more or less like if I can put in the amount of time I put in for these people in my own business,
Yeah.
I know I'll go far.
Yeah.
So I resigned. Nobody saw that coming, but I resigned. And I worked with an entertainment industry for a minute. A lot of
Okay.
people didn't know that. I was shuffling two jobs while I was working with Glow.
Wow.
And my second job, my first gig with my second job took me out of Nigeria to Ghana, and it was stressful having to work with clients, having to manage them, pick them up from the airport, make sure everybody's okay. It was one artist. She was marking her 10 years in the music industry,
Oh, I remember
Becca.
that, Becca. Yeah.
Yes, and it was crazy. It was like half of Nigeria was in Ghana, and I had to manage all those people. It was a lot, but it was good. So
Mm-hmm.
that also kind of helped expose me to a lot of celebrities, a lot of artists, and I would say for the first time when I started business, when I kicked off business again, it was a bit easy for me because then I would say, oh, so I know you, I don't see why you're not buying food from me. At least buy.
Yeah.
Even if you want me to send something to you, all you need to do is just, give me a shout out and all.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it worked. So
Oh. So it helped, the transition into
yes,
business
yes, it
basically.
helped for a short time.
For a short time. Okay, I'm interested in that.
Yes.
So so when you finally made the transition and said, okay, now I'm facing my business.
Yeah.
What year was this?
So I took a break, and this was in 2018, but I kicked off again, same 2018, but towards the end of 2018, I did a whole lot of rebranding, changed the logo, and 2018, it was like few months break. Do you
Mm,
understand? So it's not like it was a very long break, but originally You Don't Shop started in 2017.
okay.
Yeah.
Then took a break and in 2018 it started properly.
Yes.
And how has it been for, I mean, this is 2023. Would you say that it is as lucrative as you thought it would be? Would you say that, or as people think that is, because I keep hearing food business is good money, is good money, is good money. So is it actually good money? And be honest with me, I'm your friend. Let me go and start doing food now because I can make good pap and akara. And you actually do pap and akara, to think about that. You do
I d-
tapioca. This woman, yeah.
I do
Yeah, village
everything.
woman. You make akara, that's true.
I bring everything that you don't even think that people would still eat
I
in
love
this
it.
modern day and age.
I love it.
Do you understand?
So is it actually lucrative? Is food business
Food business is actually extremely lucrative if you know your onion.
Mm,
I would always tell people that if you don't have a passion for something, this one is not a situation of, oh, we need to make money. And look, you get tired, you burn out, you won't go too far. 6.5 years later, doing business will be 7 next year. It's been awesome. A lot of highs and lows, so much to learn,
yeah.
so much to unlearn. And to think that I'd already started business before I ventured into culinary school,
Okay.
and I studied food photography as well
Right.
here in Nigeria and in Dubai, because people eat with their eyes first.
Yeah.
So, what better way to make people get attracted to what you're doing rather than taking good pictures or videos of it? So, is it lucrative? It's lucrative.
Right. I
It's
mean, but I mean, so
it's
how? So let's even
lucrative.
rephrase. How much do you average in a week right now, as you don't shop
Well,
label?
personally,
Uh-huh.
let's talk about how it used to be before
You
dollar
now
went up.
okay?
Because a
put
lot of
down.
people will say that dollar does not affect food vendors, but it's a lie,
Right.
and I'll tell you why.
Please.
So, um, I like to cater for events much more than I like to take on regular daily orders.
Mm.
And I don't sell daily packs for like main food. If for any reason you see me doing daily packs, is breakfast or akara or bole and fish, where each item is priced per piece.
Mm.
And excuse me. our fresh juices and smoothies. Those ones we can sell single, but even on the juices and smoothies, minimum orders are from like 2 bottles up because the energy I'll use to juice two, I'll do one. So
Yeah.
why? And again, consider delivery. But how crazy things are, you order 1 bottle of drink and then you
Yeah.
pay delivery fee more than
More than
that.
the
So
drink.
I prefer to cater for events. So events you charge per head. So
Okay.
if you have like a wedding for 500 people, or no, we're taking it too far. Let's do, because I don't cater for anything less than 50.
Okay.
If you have an event for about 100 people and you're charging per head, local dishes and continental. For local dishes, I personally charge maybe for jollof rice and what's not. Maybe if it's with turkey, because everybody likes turkey, it's like 4 5. Then for continental, it's like 6,000 6 5 per head.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do, for example, 6 5 times 100 people, do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere inside there, your profit lies, and you're going to obviously charge consumption tax. You're going to charge for logistics. If they're going to have the whole full spread of buffet and everything, everything is charged on the customer. So
So you find good profits and such.
if you have something like that twice a month,
You're good.
yeah. But if you're going to be doing daily packs,
Mm.
you need to make sure that you have clientele
Yeah.
because you don't want to situate. And that daily packs is very tricky because you can decide to make food for 20 today because you sold 20 packs yesterday and today you might not sell
Not
20.
even one.
What's going to happen to the remaining food? You
Mm.
can't store and resell. It has to be
Mm.
fresh.
Mm.
Food business is actually very lucrative, but unfortunately now the economy is not.
It's not smiling on
It's not
anybody.
smiling. It's not friendly. The increase in price in the market is ridiculous. You find that maybe a lap of goat's meat that used to be about 3 5 4K before is probably about 7 7 5 now. It's crazy, but you want to be careful so you don't overprice your customers or overcharge your customers and undercharge yourself.
Mm.
So you have to find a balance.
Balance. That's a lot.
You have to find a balance.
Because I mean, if the cost price is now more expensive, it simply means that you have to add to what you are selling, and then you don't also want to over add and then chase your customers away.
So that's where costing comes in, which a lot of vendors don't know how to do. And I speak on this a lot. I've had a couple of people who have tried to play smart with me come to ask me, "Oh, please excuse me, I have a wedding, so and so number of guests. I need to make a certain amount of food. What's your charge and whatnot?" They're food vendors themselves.
Stop.
Honestly, they're food vendors themselves, and you're wondering, why is this person coming to ask me for my pricing? You can do this yourself.
Mm.
And then you realize that they're coming to you because they just want you to do the costing for them. So you give them your invoice and everything, and they just carry it and give it to
Copy
their own
and
clients.
paste. Wow.
Simple.
Wow.
They do that a lot in Lagos.
Are you for real? Because I mean, I've heard quite a few things. I've even heard. I mean, there was one time when I think it was Hilda, where there was an issue where someone even lifted her content and was using her own content to
It
sell
happens
food.
to me too. Someone called my attention, and again, because I don't have the person's number, someone sent me a message and said, "There's a guy on WhatsApp who is using your pictures and your videos to sell his market on WhatsApp as though he was the one who made the meals."
What?
Yes.
What? So wait, what did you do when you found out?
What do you want me to do?
Exactly.
What do you want me to do? Sell what I will. Obviously, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah.
But last when they request for it and then you don't give what they saw, then you have that to deal with.
That's really ridiculous. But let's also talk about some other things. I'm very particular, but you said something about patience and working with people. You think you used to be patient, my friend. I am and I know you know this. I don't have patience, and working with people can be a lot of work. And at the time too, you had dispatch riders that were working for you, and all of that. And I know that you have gone through it in the hands of staff. And I need you to tell us those stories, to be honest. In the hands of staff, dispatch riders, how do you manage your workers? Because again, I don't know if you do your books by yourself. If you have, you do. Yeah. Fantastic. Sometimes too, I've heard from some other vendors where, they prepare food. In fact, I've seen this on my eye. I went to a wedding, my friend. They brought food though. They are finished sharing, to some people. Mm-hmm. there was food left, right? And I go back and I'm like, oh, can I have some more? This. They're like, no, food. I'm like, see food here. And in my presence, they were packing stuff. They were packing what was left. And I'm like, people will also still come late. What would they eat?
Tell them that food has finished.
It's crazy. There are many other things. So how do you handle staff, basically? That smirk is like, child, only if you know. I want to know everything. Just us.
Make I know, like, it takes the grace of God. I'm not trying to sound cliche or anything, but honestly, you need God,
bruh,
in this business. It's not even a joke. See, logistics. For health reasons, I had to pack my bikes first for some time. They are my investment. I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
But I had to pack it because, look, the riders will frustrate you. I had an issue with one of my riders. What he does is, because he knows that you need your food to desperately get to your customers. At the time before fuel went up to 600 or something that it is now, this is like last year, 5,000 naira would fill up the tank of the bike.
Mm-hmm.
And from my calculation, I deliberately fill up the tank to know how long it carries each bike. And especially if you're going to the mainland, I know how long fuel will carry you. So you can't scam me. My workers know that much. You can't even outsmart me. You can't trick me, because before you've thought about it, I already know. Now, I bought this fuel today, and he had to go and make a few deliveries the following day within the island. He didn't go to the mainland. This guy picks up 3 deliveries from us, gets to Freedom Way, on his way to go and drop the last one. And he calls me and says, Madam, before I don't finish for bike. I say, you're a bastard. You can't be serious. He said, Madam, before I don't finish. Oh. What do you mean before I don't finish? 5K a day inside the bike, I was very sure. I didn't realize it until later that he would actually siphon the fuel out of the bike to go and sell and call you to send money for fuel.
Stop it.
Because he knows that you will still send him money
because you need
him to go and drop the food
What?
with the customer. And he kept doing that and taking so much money off me, even when he was still earning salary. The last time he did that, I just said, you know what? Just bring the bike home. Just come, bring the bike. Drop the bike, collected my keys, collected uniform, everything.
Be going. Thank you for your services.
Your service. We are no longer interested in your service. And that's to say the least. I mean, that's to even say the least. As regarding stealing and hiding of meals, my workers know better. I give them very serious orientation. If a customer is requesting for 100, normally everybody who knows me knows that I don't bring 100 on the dot. For any event that I'm going for, I always bring extra, because my goal is to satisfy the client. Do you understand? So if for any reason there's 100, I can bring like maybe 20 extra. We are not leaving that place until the 120 has finished. Nobody is packing anything. So what I do is, in the course of trying to prepare for the client's event and whatnot, before we leave the house, I always make sure that every single one of them is well fed. That's eating. I make provision for water. If I get to the venue, I make sure that the event planner makes provision for water, or at least snacks or something that they can eat, so that they have no reason to touch the food that we came out with. It's for the client and the client alone. Unless the client says you can take, that's when they take. I don't let them touch. And it has worked for me so far. I know some people have strong head though. People have strong head. They will still do, but not my workers.
I mean, I feel like you're lucky in that area.
Am I lucky?
Or maybe you just set, a precedence that would help cushion that kind of, mess. On that one, I used to is that food vendors, nobody, why you they laugh?
Because I know what you want to say.
Wait, I want to talk.
Oh, yeah, talk.
Wait, I want to talk.
Yeah.
I say food vendors, they block food vendors. I've heard that not once, not twice.
As regarding the thing that I told you, when they come to always ask for invoice and whatnot, yes. Sometimes they go to your page. They do it to me. They take your entire menu. I can show you my phone, even on Snapchat. So because I subscribe to the new Snapchat Plus, what I do is I post my menus and just pick the option of keeping them for a week. So whatever I'm posting after that, for you to go and see what I posted in front, you have to pass through my menus. And I always say it on my snap. If all 20 of you that munch this particular menu can buy food for me today, do you know that I will say that I'm sold out?
Hold on, they
today?
munch you and you can tell.
They just munch, and 20 of them are not buying from me because
Yeah.
I don't have 20 orders. Do you understand? So who are these 20 people?
People.
And then some people say, oh, don't worry, maybe they're just munching it for a later time.
What if your prices change?
And you just randomly now find out one day, maybe you're straying on the streets of Instagram and you see a menu that looks exactly like yours.
Even menu.
That looks exactly like yours. The only difference is they just maybe their logo.
Yeah.
I had an issue one time. I think this was 2020. A girl literally picked my entire slogan for Port Harcourt Bole, picked my logo, picked everything. Like she picked everything. My business name is, I had to trademark my name. My business name is You Don't Chop Kitchen. She changed it to Chop Well. The logo was the same. She picked the same color, bringing Port Harcourt City to your doorstep. Pretty much everything on my menu and just put on her own, and it was just, you will shout, you will vex, you will get upset, but there's pretty much nothing you can do at that point, because it's almost like there's a slogan that I grew up. Well, I won't say grew up. Well, in the business, I just realized that nahan be food. So we can both have the same thing on our menu, but
It won't taste as
it
good.
will never. It's not even as good. It can never taste the same, no matter how you want to do it.
I completely agree.
It can't. So.
But then, I mean, it's not possible to like sue or like get lawyers involved. And
Yeah, you
like,
can.
yeah.
You can issue out a warning. Your lawyer can do that for them to cease and desist whatever they're doing. It's up to them to take it seriously. If
Actually,
they don't,
It's still the same thing.
then we now proceed from there.
It's crazy.
But it's very essential, very necessary for anybody who has a serious business, if you want it to grow, to have a lawyer.
Okay. Now, yesterday I was, I had some guests here. We're talking about, just the industry, entertainment industry, and how that there isn't a lot of support amongst the women folk. And I know that there are men who are in this industry as well, who, are, vendors and stuff. Who are food vendors and food content creators and bloggers, And I'm curious to know, right, in the food business, because I can mention a few food vendors off the top of my head because of Instagram, and I like food, so I save these things. So I know quite a few. And people who also post their stuff and get good engagements and all whatnot. So, we know a few. Would you say that you're speaking as a woman in the industry, would you say that, do women support you? Do they come out for themselves? Because I mean, for example, case study, right? I was at the cookathon that happened, a few months back, and I could literally count the number. I mean, somebody in the food business, in the food industry is doing something. I expected, quite a few, not even a few, but a lot of, female food creators, food vendors, and all of that to be there supporting, their own. Because
I said the same thing too.
The cuckoo girl is not like she's not cuckoo known before the something in the food business. So like, why isn't that a thing from my experience? And I don't know what your experience is. My friend is like, Charles, don't make me do it. But we gotta talk about it.
We have our own problems. That's just what I can say. We women, we are our own. We use our own hands and do ourselves. There's just so much competition. I mean, just because you're trying to dim someone else's light doesn't mean yours will shine brighter.
Come on,
both of you can shine together. It's not going to change anything. There's this competition and just this, and I'm not talking about, if I'm going to be very fair and honest, a lot of people do come out for their own, but there's this thing, and it has happened to me. I'm not going to call names, and I know that it's a thing, is there are vendors who feel like they've been in the business for much longer. When they see you, without even knowing anything about you or knowing how long you've been in the business, try to make you feel less because they feel like they know too much.
Right. Because
Like
they've been
they
there longer.
because they've been there longer, and it's not really about how far or how long you've been there. Do you understand? There are things that I equally might know that you don't even know.
Hmm.
Like when I went to culinary school, I was already running my business before I went to culinary school. And going to culinary school just made me realize that everything that you think or that you thought you knew is nothing. So
Right.
you find out that if you know how to cook egusi soup in 4 different ways, culinary school will teach you 10 other ways to make the same egusi.
Hmm.
So it's just I don't know what to call it, but there's just that thing is, oh, I senior you for the industry. And yes, I get that we need to give respect to whom respect is due, but
Hmm.
respect is earned. You don't
Yes.
demand for
I,
it.
I
There are
agree.
people that pretty much they do that a lot. It pisses me off. But again, I just know how to face my front. Speaking about the cookathon, I said it. I noticed that only a very few of us women, I'm not even talking about men, I don't really know that many male chefs or many male food content creators,
Creators.
but I know a few. But there were people that I was expecting to see there. If not, if you were not able to even come, at least post something on your page to show that you're in support, because now the work all of us they do, and we
Mm-hmm.
know that it's not easy to even stand for a few hours
Mm-hmm.
cooking in the kitchen. Let's talk about 4 days or five. It's just
It's just really sad. And you know why it's even
there's not a lot of support.
yeah.
That's the thing. So you find yourself having to push through an industry that you really do not have like so much backing or support. So you have to pretty much do everything by yourself.
Hmm. And it saddens my heart because I mean it saddened my heart because first of all, it's an industry where you can literally handpick, the ones that are there. It's not an oversaturated industry in the sense that the ones who are actually doing the job and
Yeah,
you're
you
saying
can tell
you
who
can
is
tell who
doing
is
it for the money and who is doing it because it's a passion.
exactly.
Mm.
And then regardless of whatever it is, okay, now we know you and all of that. You're not represented at such an event. It just sounded looked off to me. But I mean, what do I know? I'm not a food content creator or all of that stuff. So it's okay. And I like the fact that you cleared that. Another thing that I would want to find out from you is people make it look, and I've genuinely seen this happen. So this person, he didn't go to cooking school. He didn't go to culinary school. You now you do have a certificate, somebody, and then you make the person who didn't go for whatever reason feel less of themselves. And I've seen it happen like in broad daylight. So I want to ask you, my friend, what is that extra thing? Because you did go, and you've said here that you were running your business already before you went. So what is that thing that made you think that, you know what, I need to be in culinary school? Somebody has told me before that the reason why they went to cooking school, sorry, keep saying cooking school, culinary school, culinary school, is because they didn't want someone to be looking down on them. That was her reason. And another guy told me the same thing.
I
I
agree
I
with them.
cook. I've Charles. I'm self-studied. I know like whatever they're teaching us in that school. Don't worry, I've learnt it. Right, but the reason why I just need to go there and keep posting and keep choking people with content, and then when they give me certificate, I posted it everywhere. So that nobody tells me, makes me feel less of themselves. So first of all, I want to know why you went, and secondly, why is that even a thing? I know
You
deep
see the
breaths.
word chef, yeah.
Mm.
There's a certain level of respect that comes with it. I'm not talking
Mm.
about Nigeria now. I'm talking about abroad. When you hear Chef Gordon Ramsay,
Ooh, Chef Gordon.
look, there's so many chefs. It's just there's this certain respect. It's just the way you hear that someone is the governor or the president. It carries that same level of weight.
Mm.
You're going too far, Chef Stone.
Mm.
It carries a level of weight. Now, me, I went to culinary school because I wanted to add more to my knowledge. I'm someone I like book. My mom was a principal.
Mm.
The learning never really ends for me. Anything that is going to make me add more knowledge or sharpen my craft, whatever, count me in, you know. And at the time that I went to culinary school, it wasn't a
It
thingy.
wasn't a thing.
It
Yeah.
wasn't really a thing for.
True.
It's just, oh, you're a cook. You make good meals. You are doing business. Oh, you're doing really well. So it wasn't a thing. Honestly, a lot of people in Lagos didn't really think that, oh, there's a culinary school in Lagos. Do you
I didn't even
understand?
know that. So
A lot of people
yeah.
didn't know. So going and then I started posting videos on my snap, seeing different meals. And in all honesty, sorry, culinary school will not teach you everything that you need to know. It will teach you the basics. And if you know the basics, if you have the basics here, you can do anything.
Mm.
So when your friend was saying he was self-taught, I agree. You cannot learn everything from culinary school. There's the theoretical part of culinary school and then there's practical. The theoretical part, you have to read. And your reading doesn't just stop at culinary school. You go read. You have exams where they put like 7 to 10 different spices in front of you and they ask you to identify. Your nose has to work. And at that point you might probably be confused because you're seeing turmeric, you're seeing curry. You're probably calling curry turmeric because they look the same.
Yeah.
You can taste it or whatever, but there's so much to culinary school, and I feel like a lot of people are beginning to just abuse it now. There are some people who are just outright rude that just use it to make others feel bad, of which I don't even support that in the first place because why?
Why?
You can use what you have to teach people and impact people, do you get? But it's not to get the certificate to say, oh, I went to culinary school, or oh yes, it's me or whatnot. It's a never ending course. Like Chef Stone will keep learning. Chef Stone will not look down on you in any way whatsoever. But personally, I feel like he feels disrespected when people who don't know the basics of what it means to be a chef, he just sees them attach
Chef to
their name. It's like a slap on their face, or it's a slap to the industry. You get? So to go to culinary school is good. Again, I'll say me personally, it helped my business. The respect that people had for me because I was very hard, or I still am very hardworking, it kind of tripled because I'm an Afrofusion chef. And when I say I'm an Afrofusion chef, I deal with African meals and I mix a bit of things from outside with our own African recipes. And when I say I deal with African, people just think it's only Nigerian. African is South African, there's Ethiopian, there's Ghana, there's Ivory Coast. There are so many meals. So I like to travel to African countries to find out their meals and their spices and all. Do you understand? A lot of people just want to attach that to their name, so it looks like, okay, yes, I'm a chef. But if they ask you what's mise en place, you cannot say. You can't say that you don't know that because that's the first rule of culinary school. You need to know what mise en place is.
What's mise en place?
It's like preparation, arranging and prepping all your things before you start cooking. So there are terms for all of that. And if you don't know that,
you don't know.
It's almost like you're insulting we that now went to the school
to
and paid because culinary school is not cheap.
I heard, girl.
No,
I heard
not.
it's really expensive.
It's not cheap.
It's not, but
even now that the dollar price it's not cheap.
So when you went, how much did you pay?
It was almost $1 million.
Right.
At the time
now
I
it's
went. It's actually more than $1 million now. It was almost $1 million because I did photography alongside my courses. It was almost $1 million. People who were doing the 6 months, 1 year course rather, they paid more than $1 million. So right now, I can't even imagine how much it would be.
Yeah, paying and stuff. Woo, that is a lot. Okay, so let's talk about the things that you find most challenging in the business, and you just feel like, you know what, and I'm saying constant challenges. That you're like, if these things are not here, life will be way easier for,
People always look down on food vendors because they feel like you didn't go to school, and so you selling food is like a means to an end.
Really?
Especially women. It's always the girls anyway. From the men's angle, men feel like it's for women like me. No. Men feel like for women like me, what's the word you would call it? Slay queen. They feel like you're using the food business as a front and you're just a typical ashawo.
Listen, girl, let me cut you there because I don't go lie, give you my guy. There are some people that I do see on Instagram, my
That's why I'm
sister.
saying that it's not
No,
everybody.
I'm still going to break that table.
It's not everybody, Charles. You want to put me inside trouble.
You know?
It's not everyone. I'm being very serious.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Talk now. Because you know this thing. You know what I'm talking about.
No, so I mean, a lot of people actually do look down on us because
Right.
feel like, okay, you're just using the business as cover up. What do you really know? I studied mass communication and linguistics. 2-1. I graduated. I have some certificates in courses like project management, human resource management. I went to school. I'm still learning. There are so many online courses that I've done that are certified that I have.
Sitting
They
somewhere.
are just sitting there. Do you understand? So it's not like I didn't go to school. I've done several jobs. I've worked with top celebrities. I've worked with Ciroc. I've worked so many places. So for me to be doing food is just because it's my passion. It's something that I like to do. So honestly, I would say that if not for the passion that I have for the business, they would for don't arrest me by now because I would have trailed you to your house. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The insults are a lot. The attitude, the disrespect because you're selling food. And I always tell people, you really don't have any right to disrespect me. You're not doing me a favor. You're in need of a service that I'm rendering to you, and you're paying for it. You don't. I don't. I'm not supposed to kneel down to you, and I don't. I am of the opinion that my real customers no go really stress me. Any job that comes with any small hassle, I don't accept it. So you know that I'm not desperate. As much as I want to sell to you, but don't disrespect me. I will never disrespect. I'm very down to earth with everybody who reaches out to me that wants order. But the moment I start sensing some form of disrespect, there's just no need.
I know that there are more challenges, but let me hold you for a bit. There's something I heard, my friend. That this thing you mentioned about I'm saying this because you took the words right out of my mouth, to be honest. You know, having to, and it's not just with food. You know, people who claim that there are certain things whilst they have, other means that they make money, right? So, for example, someone is doing fraud and saying that they own furniture, shop in Lekki. Lekki, the whole of Admiralty is furniture shop, and I'm wondering who really used to buy this furniture in January. That chair that I saw by your show glasses, sit here, January 2023. Who buy? Who do buy it? But that's a different conversation for a different day, right? So that's this one I heard. They said that the gear, she do sell food. Now, it's not that she will not give you food when she sell for you, when you come and order. What she will now do is, she will now, I'm the gear, you order from me. Me, I will not go and order from you, don't chop. I remove you don't chop logo. I put my logo on top of it. I send the food out.
Charles.
Genevieve, I cried when I heard this gist. I said, you say what? I said,
But nothing
yes.
is impossible in the food business. Then they say you use food business and collect person boyfriend too. So that one day.
You say what? No, what's the other gist?
Then they use food
No.
business and collect people boyfriend. So that one day.
How that one take happen? Waiting stop for that one.
It dey happen now.
How? Give me the gist now.
You
How
go
it happen?
slide it, they happen now. You go slide into person DM now, and you know say guys, the way to a man's heart like on the talk say na true.
Well, okay.
That's when the person go start to buy food, and then one day you go offer say you won't come deliver the food to him. And God bless you, maybe you're of the right size, big breasts, very curvy, and then you make your way to someone's boyfriend's house.
And case closed.
I actually know of something like that.
What?
I'm not gonna call names.
Yeah.
But this girl buys food a lot. She's an amazing person. I'm not in support of what the food vendor did because it's absolute trash. Me, I will cut your head. Can't come and take my man. Because the man self is even stupid. Do you understand? She buys food a lot. Do you understand? And she has like a couple of us vendors, female vendors that she buys food from. And there's a particular address that I send food to. I know her man lives there because she's always there. So I send food to that particular address every time. So after a while, I noticed that food stopped coming to that address. But her guy was ordering from me because apparently she had let me know that she gave her man my contact. Because most times if she's busy or if she's not around, he should be able to order on his own terms. And I'm like, cool, no problem. So he will order paying clients. So they know they owe nothing. Both her and her man paying clients. Now I found out that another friend of mine also sells food to them too. Do you understand? For some reason, the ordering stopped for a minute. I reached out to her. She said she wasn't around. And I said, okay, when you come back now, she said, no, wahala, no, wahala. But then someone else reached out to me. And she's also a vendor. Aside the other vendor that normally sells food to this girl and her man. She's a food vendor. And she says she wants to buy food. Like she orders for me, maybe sparingly once. So she says she wants to order food. Or her no, she said her boyfriend wants to order food. In her words, my man wants to order food. I'm like, okay, no wala, what do you want? He said, okay, should do fresh juice, I should do this, I should do that. I said, okay, where's the delivery going to? She calls the area. I said, okay, send me the address. And she sends the address. And she sends the name. And she sends the number. And I look at her, I'm like,
Hold up.
yo, man, this address. If I haven't sent food to this address, I've sent food about 7, 8, more than 10 times. I'm not exaggerating. More than 10 times. Because she likes akara. He likes akara and smoothie. There's a particular smoothie you always like. So if he's buying that smoothie, he can buy like 4. If they are buying akara, they are buying like maybe the package that comes with 8 akara with bread. And they are not far from where we operate. So every
you know
Tuesday, I know the address. I've driven there before. There was a time that dispatch was supposed to go and deliver and they were not picking. So because I knew the place, I drove there. I know the place. I know the number. It's someone that I have saved. So I reached out to my friend who's a food vendor and I'm like, guy, see what thing happen. I will just shrug it aside because again, it's not my business. I'm selling food, but this just really looks weird. Considering the fact that this person is calling this person
her man.
a man. You and I both know that this is
your man.
This is
someone else's man. Right.
She said that she noticed this thing and that the gist is long. Well, we didn't really make anything out of it. We just maybe said, maybe that one time thing, let's just. But she kept coming constantly to order food from this guy. For this guy. And at a point, I had to reach out to them. I'm like, how far? You know, they buy food again. You know, I'm not sending food to this area. And she broke everything down for me. And she's like, the way she gave my number to her guy to always order food. And I honestly feel, I don't want to say that she made a mistake because you cannot really tell what human beings can do. She innocently just gave number
to a food vendor
that, please,
give my man
he's going to
food.
be ordering food from me because he doesn't have a chef and we don't live together. So most times when I'm not at his place, he might need food and I'm not available to get it for him or do it for him. So let him do it at his own time. She said there were 3 of us that she did that with. And she didn't have any issues with me because I handled everything professionally. She didn't have any issues with the other person because that other person handled it professionally. How is it possible that she gives a vendor who is supposed to be her friend her man's number and that person ends up scattering her relationship?
Hey, do
you understand? The girl was actually pained.
What?
She was actually pained explaining because she said this is someone that she had been dating from when he had nothing.
Wow.
And he just did her dirty like that because of what? Do you understand? And honestly, a lot of people frowned at it because it didn't make sense at all.
Of course.
It really didn't make sense. Apparently, I heard that it cost a whole lot of wahala and everything, but the girl said she wasn't going back. And from what I heard, apparently the guy is someone who likes women with assets who have gotten their body done and what's not. So the girl probably, the vendor just probably fit into that category. And I don't even think that they're still together. And my point is, all that was for what?
For
that gives vendors like us bad names.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because they'll say if one person can do it, that means every other person.
It's what all of you are doing.
We've heard stories where they say, I don't believe in all that because who man won't follow, he go follow. Jazz or no jazz. We've had issues or situations where they've said that, food vendors, they always wash something, put inside food to carry men from their marriages. I've heard so much rubbish in this industry and I'm like, where all these things they happen? And honestly, people say that it happens. I haven't seen firsthand, Because like I said, man go follow who you go want follow.
Mm.
Jazz or no jazz. But people say that it happens. I'm yet to see it. Hope not near me, but I'm yet to
I
see
really hope not near me. I love to see
I
it.
hope not near me, sure.
Oh my god! I mean, this was a fun conversation. But before I let you go, I mean, you don't chop is doing fantastic. I must say, and your food, of course, I've had it
Thank
a couple of
you.
times. Is great, but as is usual for like, or expected for every business. Every business hopes to grow, hopes to maybe expand, and all of that. So, what are your dreams? For you don't chop as tall as they might be. Let's speak it into the universe.
Well, I've never been one to be in a hurry to open a restaurant or anything. It will come. Not because I'm not capable of owning one or opening one up. I just believe that good things take time, and I know myself, I like big things.
Hmm.
So if I'm going to
You
do
do.
it, I like big
You do.
things. So if I'm going to do something, it has to be, it
Yeah.
needs to make a very loud statement.
Hmm.
And I'm combining both restaurants and juice bar together. That's a
Hmm.
lot of work, and it requires a lot of money in the hundreds of millions. So, because I've done my research. But with the way dollar is going now, it's not, I'm really not in a hurry. But for you, don't chop. We'll start with Lagos first.
Of course.
Maybe take it back to Port Harcourt. Or maybe Abuja.
Hmm.
But I can't live out of the country. It's here. I've gotten a lot of people tell me, "Oh, you need to come abroad, you make money." It's not for me. I rather travel, tour the world, and then
Yeah,
come
come
back
back
here.
here.
Because take to leave it, there's money in this country. You just
I
need to
agree.
know where to position and place yourself.
I agree. I agree.
I've seen it firsthand.
And there's so many things that we get away with here that you will never get away with abroad.
No, you
Never.
can't. You can't operate if you don't have a license. Like a lot of people are operating without NAFDAC number. You
Mm-hmm.
can't try it abroad; they'll shut you down.
Mm-hmm.
So many licenses are required for you to even have just a food stand. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting there.
I love it. I love it. I mean, this was fun, and I like having a. I like just with Genevieve because I always hear one new thing. One this one I do. Apart from the fact that I will learn, but like there's always tea. And I love it, and I feel like she's giving us a lot today. Thank you so much.
Thank
For
you.
people who have no experience with Don't Chop, and they want to order, they want to reach out. How do they do that?
Well, our Instagram page is you don't chop Lagos with underscores right after the you underscore
Done.
don underscore
Chop.
chop underscore Lagos.
Okay.
That's on Instagram. If you're too lazy to go on Instagram, we have a website www.youdon'tchopkitchen.com.ng. We're on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 0813 and my personal Instagram, Big Chef G of Lagos.
Big Chef G of Lagos, big chef for a reason. What? I love it. But thank you for coming, Genevieve. This was a very fun
Thank you for
interview,
having
fun
me, even with
conversation.
my flu.
Yeah, I mean, you still give, and we're
Thank
really
you.
excited. All right, so that's about it. Please follow the handles on your screen at underscore Charles Bond and every other handle that has been mentioned and is on your screen. I'll see you in the next one. Stay here.
So,